The next thing we want to talk about, which is a pretty big movie that we've talked about in some capacity that we've now finally all seen, is the horror film that started out with a bit of a controversy due to the AI imagery that was used, and then it went on to be a blockbuster for I think a movie that cost anywhere from 1.5 to 2 million. It made about 10 at the box office. I'm talking about Late Night with the Devil, which debuted on Shudder last week. Now, this is an interesting case for us because all three of us got to watch the movie over the weekend. And another interesting case about this is where we have talked about it very little offline. I think all three of us have a very similar opinion of the film. Now, I should point out it is available on Shudder. We will do our best not to reveal too much of the plot because it's only been out for a week. But quite a few people did see this in theaters, which is why it did so well. And it is a 70s based hidden talk show episode that was lost for years that has just been resurfaced, and they're treating it like that is almost like a mockumentary, as it will. Shah, I'm going to go with you. I want to get your take on the highly popular and buzzworthy Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, I don't know if I built this movie up too much in my head from the hype that it was getting or what the case was, man. But I went into this, and the first half I thought was amazing. Like the buildup was dope. Buildup was dope. As soon as the girl turned demonic, the movie got completely ruined for me. I was just like, dude, what? I was like, you did so well. What are you guys doing? Like, what is this? I don't know if you guys remember the Exorcist girl from the Scary Movie. Like, this is what that reminded me of. It was comedic. Like, I
Some
could not
people
take
did
this
say
serious.
somebody said it felt like a sketch on ridiculousness.
Yeah, like I was like, yo, you guys
Yeah.
completely fucked this movie up now. The girl's voice was like robotic, like something. It was just so bad, man. I really, really disliked this movie ever since the girl came out. And it had so much potential because I thought the set, just doing it in that one set, I really liked that idea. I like the whole concept.
Yeah, I like it too.
The execution was very poor in my opinion. And I know the budget is low, but dude, X had a low budget too. You know what I mean? Like there's other movies that have
X had maybe half the budget of this movie. No, that's not true. Pearl had half the budget of this movie, even better.
Yeah. I mean, one of those movies. There's been so many other independent movies that have done, that have stretched that dollar a little bit more, man. These effects, like they were pretty bad. I can forgive that, but like the robotic voice and nah, man. I didn't really like it.
Okay, before I go to B show, Shah, what did you think of the ending? Because that's a very contentious thing right now with a lot of people.
I didn't mind the ending. I like the ending. Obviously we don't want to spoil it, but like it made sense. It's like selling your soul, I guess, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah,
sense.
Did you look up people talking about the ending?
No, I didn't. That's just what I assumed. But
okay, because
I didn't see any reviews on it really. Most people, it was like Facebook reviews, and most people were loving this movie.
People love this movie. Yeah, it's a highly reviewed.
I don't know how. Like how are people saying this is the best movie of the year when it comes to
that's what we're going to discuss.
I don't understand.
Yeah, and listen, like I said, this is a case where all three of us I think are on the same page. B show, your thoughts without giving away too much of the plot as well. I know it's difficult. Shout out to Aaron Eccles, you just joined.
I really liked the movie until, like you guys said, the third act when it got effects heavy. That's what did it for me, because I liked the concept. It was like, I'm going to date myself with these references, but it was like the Larry Sanders Show meets The Exorcist.
Love Larry Sanders Show. Yeah.
Just like the way it was shot, where it looks like it's on film, then they cut back and it's almost documentary style during the breaks. But the runtime is like a classic late night talk show.
Yeah.
And they did a great job of nailing the aesthetic. There's some Easter eggs in there that I didn't catch the first time around, so I went back and watched it a second time.
Oh, you did? So, okay. I was thinking of doing that, maybe on the plane.
Like in the mirrors and stuff, and in the pocket watch, you can see little things that kind of hint to what's going on. The big flaw I think this movie had, other than the effects, is I think they didn't want to give away what was going on, so they hinted at it, but they also, I think, depended on people knowing a lot more about like Bohemian Grove and stuff like that.
Which clearly, which clearly they were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, so me knowing about that or hearing about the supposed history, I was down with it. I got it. I understood what was going on, and I really liked the aesthetic and the style and how they did it. But yeah, the effects in the last, 15 minutes of the movie, I even like, and I'm not going to give too much away, I like the skeptic character and how to the end, like you kind of weren't sure,
right,
if he was right or not, and then like everything spins out of control. So
okay. Yeah.
I did. I liked it. I think more than you guys did from what I've heard so far. But I
Mhm.
agree 100%. It like third act of the movie when it got heavy to the effects, it kind of went off the cliff a little bit for a minute.
Yeah, I'm on board with kind of the first right off the bat. I'm gonna say this. I'm surprised more people aren't talking about how bad the acting is. I found the Ed McMahon character to be a terrible actor. I found the lead woman, to be bad, the girl to be bad, like Shah said. I also found the heretic guy to be very bad. The only really good actor was the lead. I felt the acting was not good. The acting got very bad for me. The acting didn't transition this along as far as especially the cut scenes that were supposed to be the off-camera scenes. That's where the acting really fails for me. The special effects were pretty bad. There was a couple of things I liked, a couple of things I didn't, but the buildup, I was so invested in this buildup. And then I felt like the payoff was a very weak payoff. I hated the second half of this movie. I really took me out of it. I think the buildup to the ending was so not good that I didn't appreciate the ending. But I think for the first half of this film, I'm on board. I'm invested. I love that narration. B show of that, whoever that guy was who was doing the narrating. He was supposed to be like that Bill Curtis kind of character.
Like on
You
the
know what I
reel to
mean?
reel video when they're showing the video
Yes.
clips.
Well,
Yeah.
like as he's building up his career and his wife died and all that other stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, I thought the acting was fucking bad. I mean, really, I know I'm a snob, but you know what I mean, Shah, like we talked a little bit like Hereditary was playing in theaters last night. And it's like I think of the acting of like, and maybe this is unfair, but I think of the acting of like a Hereditary, and then I think of the acting of this and I go, no. Shah, did you have a problem with the acting other than the girl's voice?
Yeah, but that bothered me less than the effects. I just feel
The
like
effects.
in 2024, there should be no excuse for effects, man. Like it's not that expensive, I assume, right? Like it had to be. I mean, you get better effects now, I assume. Like there's better
Yeah.
molds and stuff. Like it can't be as bad as it was back in the 80s. In the 80s, I could forgive a lot of that because I was
Oh,
like,
of
yo,
course,
they
it didn't
didn't have
exist.
the
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I don't know, man. You can probably go to the fucking Halloween Spirit store and do a better job at some of the effects than they did. It looked poor.
Bisha, what did you think of the effects?
That's what I think went off the rails for me. Is
Okay.
I was cool. I was okay with the payoff because
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not going to talk about it, but I
Yeah,
thought it
I
was
know.
all right.
I know it's hard.
Gi-
I know this is hard for us,
Given,
but
like I said, given the backstory of him and how he got there, I thought I was fine with that.
okay.
The
Okay.
the effects is where it went off the rails for me because when shit busts loose, it was like, really? Like it felt like I was watching some cheap Tubi movie. It's like it went from,
Yeah,
hey, this is a great Shudder movie, and then I'm like, am
Yeah.
I watching Tubi? Like, what's
yeah,
going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, and it's odd. And it's funny you say that because I didn't see anybody. What's crazy is the people that saw this in theaters loved it. The people that watched it on Shudder over the weekend did not. I just want to go to the chat for a second. Rich Dow says, boo this movie. Joe Punches says we're on the same wavelength. The ending was okay. I want to see. I don't know how many other people saw it. We're doing our best not to fuck up, people from seeing it. Joe Punches says the first half, I was like, oh shit, it's gonna go down. Then it felt like it fell flat, hard at the end for me, and the effects look bad. Aaron Eccles saying the effects look bad. What was the budget? The budget was around 1 million. Was around a little over 1 million. It made 10 million at the box office. Now we should point out, guys, end of the year, this is probably going to be maybe not on any of our lists, probably, but this is probably going to be on everybody's list. I mean, at this
yeah. And I know some people might say you're crazy for comparing the acting to Hereditary, but
why?
people are putting this as like the best horror movie of the year. So you
Yes,
have
they
no
were.
choice
That's what I
but
was
to
told.
kind of compare it to those like heavy hitters.
Yeah, and look at the
It's
reviews,
not
Shad. The
there.
reviews, the reviews are huge for this. This is getting like
Yeah.
90s,
Fine.
8.5s, 90%.
By the way, the intro to the film where they're like showing like retro clips of him on the talk show and kind of the build up with him
Yeah.
and Bohemian and all that.
Uh,
There's definitely some AI in there too, with like the
really? Nobody said
backgrounds and
that.
stuff. Hunter, go watch it again. You could see it in
Okay,
his
I might
hair.
watch it again.
You could
Guys,
see it in his hair. It's all in the beginning. They definitely used more AI than we think they did.
well, I mean, B show. Look at this. 97%. Is that the
It's
audience?
crazy. That's
That's
crazy.
critic score.
97% critic score, 81% audience score.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No horror film has this year.
Dude, you know
As
what,
far as-
man? I don't take the critic scores seriously a lot anymore
Jesus Christ.
because I mean it's a good indicator that it might be a good movie, but like you see it on X or Twitter. Like there's all these people that write for Fango and look, I like a lot of these people. They have a lot of good takes,
Yeah, some of them
but you
great.
can tell there's a lot of people that write for these publications or do reviews that really want to engage with these people. They
Oh,
want to
it's
kind
like
of clout
wrestling. Yeah,
chase a little bit.
totally like
Yeah,
wrestling.
1000% yes.
Totally like
So
wrestling.
like I see a lot of that. And also I see YouTubers doing this now too. Like there's one particular guy that I watch quite a bit, and he just so happens to love The Last Jedi and love Halloween Ends. Really? You liked two of the most like like diametrically opposed movies to
Oh yeah,
their fan
polarizing
bases?
films. Yeah, totally
Yeah, so you
polarizing
just
films.
happen to love and champion that all the time and make videos
Mhm.
about them all the time? Like, I think there's a lot of that that happens, and you can get verified if you go through certain hoops.
Probably.
So
Well, listen. It's not bad. I just at this point, I I don't know. I might have to see it again, and it might be one of those things. Shah, let me ask you a question. Do you plan on watching it again? I feel like I might have to watch it with another because it's not a long movie.
Probably not. I feel like
Okay.
this is a one and done for me.
Okay. I think I might check it out again.
I,
Just
I
to
actually I like the ending. It's not the ending that ruined it. It's similar to B show. It's mainly the effects because I
the
just took it
effects.
as a joke
Hmm.
moving forward. As soon as they exposed the effects, I was like, oh, this is
Okay.
not what I was expecting. Like that, I thought there was going to be more effort put into this because the buildup was good. I like the buildup.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a case where, and I talked to a few people about this on Twitter today, like random horror sites or whatever. It's overhyped. It's an overhyped movie. I wish I didn't. I wish it wasn't as hyped as it was. And I just if this was a movie I stumbled into, I would be way more forgiving. But Bisho, the amount of hype, like this went from don't see it because of AI to oh my god, this is the horror film of the year. You got to go check it out. I've seen it. It's amazing. And now it's on Shudder, and I feel like the people watching it at home are going, eh,
yeah, it's one of those again, a cautionary tale not to get caught in the hype train. Like I've been staying away from like Facebook groups and critic boards and stuff like that
it's
just
hard
because
sometimes.
of that.
It's hard.
Because I've found it is, but I've
It
found it's
is.
tainted my view of movies. And I'll go
Yeah.
back and watch a movie a second time around and go, oh, that wasn't bad, or they did this here, that's cool.
Mm,
But no, this one I was given the amount of press, it was not press, but the amount of
hype.
hype it was getting online. Thank
It's
you.
hype.
Um, I was a little disappointed because I figured
Yeah.
a movie that's getting this, especially from horror fans, horror have seen everything, and there are those people out there that will champion any piece of shit B movie fucking
Oh
release
yeah.
from 1980s and say it's great when it's not.
Yeah.
This didn't seem like that. It seemed like more not in the style of, but it seemed like a cut above because of the style and the care that was taken in that went into all that for that to just fall apart on the effects. And look, I know
Mm.
effects are hard. It's hard to do. It's like
That's a hard.
magic. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like it was a no for me, dog.
Okay. So yeah. So we encourage people to check it out if you have Shutter. I think there will be way better films coming out in the horror genre than this. But it's interesting that we made a point last week that we were going to try to watch it, and I'm just glad we all got to watch it.